Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. I see a lot of people having some good fun at my expense. I appreciate you all and deserve it all. I am usually never late, but today it was a little busy day. I have the daughter home with the wifey, so my days are all messed up and my time is all messed up. How are you, Various?
I am good, as I was saying. A little tired. My dog woke me up a little too early today, and
Okay.
then monster payday, so I didn't get back to sleep. I decided, I suppose we'll pay people again. It's kind of expected. So, um, yeah, today was a good one to start the new year. I think it was our highest one since late August, early September.
Nice.
Um, so yeah, everyone who has one, including yourself, should have got a pretty nice payday today.
Yeah, I'll go take a look at that later after we do all this stuff. I was also partially late because I'm not putting 1,000 BNB, but I was getting some money moved over to do a live deposit, which I should have prepared a long time ago. But life is what life is sometimes, and yeah. So and I had every plan to have some moved over and then realized I didn't complete my bridge. So I'll get that done while we have some chats because there's lots to go into with this one. Just quickly before we get started, and I'll give you a chance to kind of do an intro. Obviously, like and subscribe down below if you haven't already. For Various, for Monstros, do it for all of them. Don't care about me for this one because we've got a team here who's been showing up every day and really doing what we wish every project would do when it comes to transparency, when it comes to just doing what they say they're going to do, creating a roadmap that actually comes to fruition. I know you guys still have a long way to go and have lots of plans, but I just think you guys deserve a lot of kudos for what you're doing and what you're doing in the space. So although you've been on my channel a couple times, probably one of the most, to be honest, because I get most of my guests are on for one and done, and then they rug us and rock away, which I try not to do, but we can only do so much to protect everybody as much as we can. So maybe just a quick intro for you first, and then we'll go from there.
Sure. Well, for those who don't know me by now, I say hello. It's nice to have fresh faces. But my name is Keith, or OxVarius, or OxVarius, or just Various, whatever you want to call me. And I am one of the main founders of Monstro's Universe, which started back in August. Before that, we had plenty. We were doing more on the NFT side of the space for a couple of years. My company, Master Brews, came out with a couple of hit projects in the 2021 bull run, notably Whelps and Mark McKenna's Heroes and Villains. We've also worked with a lot of stuff you wouldn't have seen publicly, but let's just say we've written a lot of smart contracts out there that people use every day. And then we've had clients, people with companies like Chainlink and other big names. So we've been around the block, and now we're on the DeFi side. And for the past 6 months, Monstro's been, growing, doing well. Started with yield farming. We have hit, I think next Wednesday will be officially our 6 months, which is kind of a marker from what we're told in the space, right? If you make it past,
well, it's a marker.
Yeah. So if you make it past 6 months, it's a good sign, especially when you're paying out weekly and every week's been hit. So That's something we're pretty proud of here. And Degens, which we'll talk about more, is our latest offering. It's only a week old. It's had a really good week of growth and a lot more to come from, it's starting to be at that point. People believe it's not an overnight rug, and now it's showing traction, right? Showing growth. And we have some healthy marketing wallets. We have a lot we want to do and some potential partnerships lined up. So all that's, exciting for us. And it's definitely been a nice start to the year and a nice successful boost to our ecosystem.
Nice. Amazing. Yeah, and that's phenomenal. And that is what we're here to talk about. But I definitely think we'll take some tangents off and talk about some of the stuff that has and will happen in the future. Because I think, again, it's a pretty interesting roadmap, and I do appreciate, like I said, that some of this stuff is coming to fruition, which we don't see often in the space. Everybody's got a game, everybody's got a DApp, everybody's got a exchange, and all this stuff, and it's all noise, in my opinion, nowadays, because we really don't have a lot of people that have been able to make any of it come true. So I definitely want to make sure that we keep focused on that and have some chats around that. So I'll pull up the Degens app, I guess, and then we'll kind of dig deep into that in just a second. I think my funds are moving over, but actually we'll just move it over and I'll just get it. So get over to the dashboard.
Speaking of roadmaps, we have updated ours in the wiki. It was a little out of date last time we spoke, and probably last time you did your video on Degens.
I believe
so. It has been updated, so there is some
pull
new
that up as
stuff
well.
in.
Then,
yeah.
And that's all. The nice thing again with your DApp though is anywhere you go, you have a link to it because it's not specific. Which I think when I did my review, I kind of went through it a bit and kind of went, "Hey, here's like actual a GitHub with some girth to it." Let me go present. That's a good word that I'm sure
everyone appreciates.
Will jump in on that. I said that word. Share screen, and let's go to Chrome tab. This guy here. So is there a spot you wanted to get into here first, or do you want me just to go into the Degens one for now?
Since Degens is a lot to jump into, we could, if you want to look at the roadmap first, we can do that. If not, we can do Degens first.
Now is the roadmap
it
in
doesn't
here?
matter to myself.
Roadmap, there we are.
Yeah.
So there's our raffles, and you guys have kept doing little things that just go a long way, which is nice to see. Oh, here I am.
Yeah, we try to add key items there, like meaning we don't want to have every single little update listed in here. This roadmap page would be 200 pages long.
Yeah.
But that's something I laugh about from the last bull run. Some of these roadmaps were legitimately, we are going to create Discord roles. We are going to create our Spotify playlist. We will, when we receive 10 BNB, we'll update when we receive 20 BNB. And they're so small and minor. So for everyone's, appreciation of their time, we're trying to keep it to the major items and not really, make it that granular, because it would be a long list with not much importance to it. So
yeah. So highlights here, I guess. Obviously, there's and how's this coming along? I guess quickly while we're at it, I guess. Sorry, we're
yes. So today we actually got the tutorial screens to review. So that's one of the final pieces of the MVP. And yeah, I would say we were working with a third-party studio, and they're a little bit behind. Some of that is on us because we've been extremely picky with the animations, and the animations are always one of the more time-consuming parts of a video game. And then part of it was, they had a little longer vacation time over the holidays than we expected, and things like that. But yeah, all that said, I think before this month is out, we will have an actual MVP build we can start distributing, and that'll be really exciting, because that's something. There's still tons of people who don't even know we're building a game, right? They kind of glance over it in the roadmap, or we didn't talk about it much because we want to drop it when it's ready. So this will be something where they'll be like, oh, this DeFi project said they're making a game and it's available in the App Store all of a sudden. Like, where did this come from? Yeah. So that's kind of the approach we're taking with it. And once we do get it tested, then we'll be opening a public scaling round. Once we have metrics, once we've marketed it a little bit, we see the in-app purchases, we tweak things, we get them, nice and optimized. Definitely we'll let more people in who want to take advantage of a Web2 revenue stream through the same way, through holding an NFT that represents X% of rev share, and you'll get paid out, right, the same way we do our other payouts.
Yeah, nice. And what's this one?
So this one used to be called Silos, and now we decide to rename it, make it a little more fun, especially as we bring in more degenerates to the community. Yep. But what we want to do with this is it's meant to be something where we have different buckets per narrative, and then we will choose, we being the team, somewhere between 8 to 10 tokens, probably 8 to 12 tokens per bag, maybe a different level of each. And it'll simply be to stack them for, roughly 12 months or so until we're actually in the bull run, and then everyone will profit. So meaning, let's say we have a layer 2 bag, and we have a GameFi bag, and we have a meme bag, and we have just all these different buckets of the different narratives that are out there. Maybe there's an AI one. And if people want to throw in, whatever they want to throw in, $50, $500, they will contribute to that bucket. Everyone will be holding the same assets, just in different proportions based on what they put in. Cool. And it's something where we'll reveal them over time, like maybe 1 token per week, have some community events around it, kind of make it a fun thing where everyone is in the same thing together, all hoping for the same success together, right? And given where we are and where the market will be, probably a good chance that a lot of these will be able to do things like 5x's or 10x's, and maybe a blue chip bucket will do less. Maybe a more risky bucket has a lot more potential. Maybe could do like 100x. You don't know. So
yeah, no, great. And that's not about it. Yeah, it's nice because we've all talked about it now. I think now that we're coming into the potential bull run, I mean, I hate to say it yet, but doing these kind of conglomerate things could be handy because it's hard for all of us to pick different things, especially if we have small bags. But when we put it together, we can pull quite a bit of money and create quite a bit of buzz and potential returns.
Yeah, and we've just had people who say, hey, I want to stack coins for the bull run, but I don't want to do research. I don't want to look into it. Yeah. Can you guys just pick for me? So that's kind of where this came from. Like, yeah, sure, we can do this. And we can even offer to have, we'll call them celebrity guests, make their own bucket, right? Like, let's say you want a Pocket Aces bucket and you have your followers who want to put into your bucket. Well, we can just facilitate it very easily, or for other community leaders or whatnot. And, just take a small fee on it for ourselves. And that would be that. So I think it's something, I would say it's both for fun and profit. It can be both at the same time. And it's something that's pretty flexible. It's not very hard to build. So it's something we look forward to. We think we'll have a pretty good participation. And the thing is, there's no minimums needed, right? Like if we have a bucket and only $1,000 goes into it, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't hurt us.
Yeah.
Whereas if we have a bucket where 50,000 goes in, like great. So it's something that we're going to do regardless of. We already know some people like it. Some people want to participate. Yeah. But there's no risk to us. Like we don't need a minimum threshold to make it worth it.
There you go. And your fans are showing their support. Monstro tattoo coming down from the end.
You know what? That can be one of our next boosters.
There you go.
Proof of a Monstro tattoo gets you a little extra.
Yeah, and then you get an NFT that has a monster with a Monstro tattoo on it. White ogre, you haven't yet. Nice. Yeah, and I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I guess any other things you want to touch on here? Obviously, a token, we can all see what that could be at some point, and I do see it's to be determined, so no real timeline. Is there any one of these that kind of stand out that you want to have a little chat about before we get on to the other?
Probably not. I'll just mention, stuff like Battle Bets. These are fun partnerships where, they're actually allowing us to have Monstro as a character in what they do, which is a betting system based on retro video game characters and such. I saw AJ was in the audience here, right? They're partnered with Spark Swap, and they allow people to spend Spark as the token that bets on these fights. So it's all AI driven, but it is retro characters, and it's kind of fun. It just spreads our brand and our Monstro character more further into the gaming world, right? Where that's pretty cool if you can have Monstro fighting, a Marvel character or a Capcom character, and people can be betting on these fights. So for us, that's the type of partnership where, hey, if people want to do stuff like that and let us expand our brand, then why not? Like, why wouldn't we?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a simple thing, but that's coming out, I know, pretty soon. Website V2 is just we need to update some pages. Definitely the homepage, right now it was a very simple lander. But as our products are growing here, we need to properly, redo that. So, the TBD ones I'll leave for another time since those are further out. So,
yeah, and we'll have time to do another video. I always like some extra content, especially from you guys. So always happy to oblige. So I'm finally getting my transactions all moved over, my funds moved over. So full disclosure, and we'll do a live deposit. I have not deposited into this DApp yet. I did set up a wallet for referrals going into that's specifically used for some projects that I manage to help give them back money. So 50% is going back to the person who deposits, and then 50% goes as rewards, hopefully to feed some projects that didn't do so well that I'm trying to get some people some money back from. So if you'd like to use that, by all means, at your own discretion, then you're welcome to do so. Another side of full disclosure is you guys have, I think, used $150 from the marketing wallet in order to fund this. And what I've done is I've added my own 150 fresh cash into it to bring it to 300 to put into it. And like I said, those referral dollars will go into that one.
Which we appreciate you didn't have to do, right? So we
No,
think it's awesome. And yeah, and people love seeing live deposits, so it's always a thing to do.
So I'll let you describe I'll switch over to the DApp now and let you kind of go through some of that while I get everything all set up. Shop, present, share screen, switch over to this one. And there we go. And I'll just find my referral code, which is sitting in one of my videos that I did. So I'll go pull that up while you maybe go through and let me know when you want me to scroll down to kind of describe what's going on. So the idea behind this one is you got, and I'll paraphrase a bit and you can kind of clarify for me. But the idea behind this one was you guys obviously saw that everybody was doing these Degen projects. We didn't really know who was behind 90% of them or 99% of them. Most of them turned out to be rugs at some point, and obviously Ponzi's. But none of that was really transparent. And obviously the marketers of these oftentimes didn't really go through the downfalls, just willy-nilly threw $50,000 in and said, look at me and what I'm doing, but this is gambling, as we all know and aware of. So for you guys, this approach is a very transparent approach to the whole idea, with a wallet that is visible to all, and you're just trying to give everybody that Degen itch that they maybe want to scratch without the risk of being stopped out early, and then some other really cool things, which I'll let you get into to top it off. So is that a good synopsis? And then you can kind of expand on that a bit.
Yeah, that's a good intro. And then I will expand. So essentially Degens was our attempt to take these dApps that are popular, that are constantly losing people money, right? I would say, if I had to guess at a ratio, I would say maybe 15-20% of people win, and the remainder of the people lose ultimately. Yeah. And that's how they're constructed. And I think most people do realize that play them. But the other risk of them is, even if you're playing it, a lot of them end up rugging when they see the cash flow dying. So you don't even get to fully, lose because you lose naturally. You lose prematurely,
yeah.
which is not cool by any means. So based on that, we wanted to appeal to these people, offer them something they're already playing elsewhere, but we thought, how can we improve upon it, and how can we give them a safety net so they don't have to lose? Yeah. And we came up with the no loss, or no lose guarantee. And that's simply tying it back to what we've been doing successfully for 6 months now, which is farming and yield farming and getting real yield. Yeah. So we said, all right, why don't we take some of the popular features, keep it very simple. We don't want to confuse people. We don't want to make it, because we didn't know if we'd be able to attract people. Maybe it just wouldn't have worked. Maybe some of these other ones work only because they have, major influencer connections, or, manipulate early on, put a lot of their own funds. We know there's all kinds of tactics around the space, right? So absolutely, we didn't want to put too much into this, but we did want to build a quality product that worked really well, that had no worries from a contract perspective. And also, as much as we think people trust us at this point as a team, we knew we're going to be bringing in people and targeting people who don't know us and don't have a reason to trust us. So we wanted to make sure that was bulletproof. And even if we want to, there's nothing we can do with this. If there was a bug, let's say, we would be pretty screwed because we can't take the money out. There's no emergency eject. Everything was built so people can trust the code. The one thing we can do is simply pause deposits and reinvestments. And that's when we want to switch phases. We built that in, so we can do that. Or if we discovered a problem, so we could stop it as early as possible. But we can't stop claims. We can't move money around. We can't do anything. We can't change wallets. We can't change boosters. Everything that's set is hard-coded on purpose. Nice. So that was basically the main thing we wanted to do, was appeal to these people, give them what they're doing anyways, where most of them are losing their money, and find a way where they don't have to lose their money and they can join our ecosystem. And even if they came in this way, discover other parts that we're building and potentially, have interest in, and just be a great community member. So it really, it's really been working awesome. It's been a week now. We're at, as you can see, just about 700 BNB in, which I think for this time of year and for where we are and for how it's going, it's a pretty good number, pretty impressive number.
Absolutely.
We know some other ones out there skyrocket. They get to 500,000 or 1 million, maybe in their first couple of weeks. But we're very happy with our progress. We have a very healthy marketing wallet. We're still trying to spend that as efficiently as possible. Shout out to Gabo and Adam there.
Yeah.
We have a chunk of this that has already gone into farming, so it's already benefiting our current farmers and holders. Until these people, until this dries up, then those people will come in, dilute it a little bit, get paid out, and then leaving behind that farming money.
Yeah.
So that's something else we always try to do is if you're in our ecosystem, everything we do going forward always tries to help everyone else that's in the ecosystem already. So
amazing.
It's
And so many look like they're doing that, but never do.
Yeah.
Or again, the plans never come to fruition. It was all smoke and mirrors, whatever the case may be. So amazing, and that's great. And then, so if somebody can deposit 1 or 2 BNB and get us up to 699, so I can be the 300, that'd be great. Just there, go out, guys.
That would be nice if we hit a nice, round number here on the stream. So
yeah, it wouldn't be too bad at all. So I have 1 BNB ready to go, which I'll do in a few, but I do want to go through the DApp a little bit, go through a couple of the mechanics. One of the big one I think we should rest on for a moment is that you guys are claiming, and I've talked about it and I know the answer, but you're claiming that you're not going to lose money in this. Obviously, the timeline for getting your ROI back, if you don't make it up in this part of the first phase of the DApp, I'm assuming could be a little while. But if you want to go into what that is and how that works for you guys. I know
since there's external yield farming and we're getting real yield, which whatever rewards token we're harvesting or whatever fees we're collecting, we are translating that to USDC on a daily basis, and then we're paying out weekly. But we don't really have control over, is it going to be a great week? Is it going to be a low results week? We had an awesome August, September. Then I would say October, November, December were pretty low. Low by our standards, not by necessarily,
still pretty damn amazing.
But it's a thing where it will ebb and flow. It will vary. This past week was awesome. I think we did just about 5% as our payout for the week, which is great. Amazing. And then now, the market's red today. So probably this coming week, it might be, low again. So it is real yield and we don't have control over that, which means, yes, it could take, maybe your remaining profit is a couple of BNB, which let's say it's 25% you were missing. Yeah. Maybe that takes you 2-3 months to recuperate, but maybe we hit a long red dry period and the bull run doesn't come for another year. And maybe, it takes you 12 months to recuperate. So we can't guarantee you how long it'll take, but we can guarantee you the money is working. You can see it right through all our wallets are public and transparent. You can see all the positions and you're being delivered your pay every week. So it's not something where we're promising, in 6 months we'll do a distribution or something. It's no, you're working with the farms program, which is what we've been doing since August. And effectively, we're just forcing you into that farming if you didn't manage to make profit the way you played the ROI DApp phase, which a lot of it comes down to how often do you reinvest? How often do you claim? Do you put more money in at certain points? Were you early? Were you late? How good is the marketing going to attract constant fresh funds? So all of that said, there's so many factors that nothing can really be told from a timeline perspective. Yeah. And the question we get all the time is, how long is phase one? Like, how long is it on for? And we're like, I don't know. I mean, I know we have enough where it's not going to end tomorrow, but I cannot tell you if it'll be there in a month and a half or 3 months or 6 months. I can just tell you when it does run out, your money is already working. We just simply transfer you to become a farmer. You'll get your special NFT. These ones are going to be individualized because everyone will have a different amount of remaining profit. Yeah. And that's it. You'll just start getting paid weekly at that point. And after that, if people see they got made whole and more than that, they got their profit that they were promised, it'd be great to do a season 2 with new features. I think, the demand will be there. probably more, because by that point we'll be in a better place in the market. There'll be a lot of new people flowing in. So if we can replicate the success and grow it with new features that people want, maybe a little bit of some more game theory added, and just continue as long as there's demand. And I think if we've shown that everyone made profit who got in this, even if it took 6 months to a year, when we do that next season, that's something that any new one coming out won't be able to say.
No, exactly. No, that's amazing. And then I guess just to go down it a bit, I think these numbers here are quite important. We touched on the deposit, obviously, and this kind of leads into the tokenomics, which I think is worth having a quick chat about along with these numbers, because I guess that really that is the tokenomics right on the screen, which is quite nice, all built in. So again, transparency that we haven't seen in this space. And so if you maybe want to go into that a bit to start, and then we'll scroll down a little bit more.
So deposits is total deposits. It's a running counter that does include any amount that's been reinvested in it. So those are all one and the same. Claimed is exactly that, how much money has actually come out of the contract, which right now is very little. Seems a lot of people are in the reinvestment phase. Liquidity, so 50% of everything that's deposited goes to liquidity. And the reason it's only 50% is, the other half isn't going to the team or anything, but it's going to the farms and to the marketing, which includes the referral rewards. So 30% goes to the farms, and that's money that's working. It's producing for our current holders, and it will produce for phase 2 as soon as they're out of phase 1. 20% for marketing is including referrals, meaning you can get up to 20% if you're referring a high enough volume. But anything that's not goes in the marketing wallet, and everything in the marketing wallet is meant to be spent to prolong the life of phase 1, meaning to get more people, get more awareness, and just keep it going as long as possible.
And just to go back for 2 seconds there, and obviously just for people, math is not always everybody's strong point, but the thing you'll notice here is your half is then split between who's claiming and who's got stuff left in liquidity. If you actually add those numbers together, it's half of this. So that's a good way to gauge the health, I guess, of how things are going so far, and that kind of stuff when people are looking, I guess, right?
Yeah, and if people are keeping their eye on it, I mean, if they see deposits slow down, liquidity slow down, claims, skyrocketing per day, that's probably a sign it's coming to the end. But otherwise, it's right now it's extremely healthy. We probably couldn't have imagined it being in a better spot. And we still have, like I said, a very healthy marketing wallet. We still have a lot of things we're trying to line up. We have some potential partnerships we're lining up. So all of that is just going to keep contributing to new people coming in. And hopefully the more people see this run and how stable it is, the more they'll be willing to invest, right? Some people wait till that week 1 is over, week 2 is over, try to get past the was it a quick rug overnight phase. Was there any bugs in the contract? People are claiming, people are reinvesting. So I think all of that's kind of out of the way now after week 1. And now we'll start seeing some bigger people who are starting to hear the name, starting to look into it to come in.
Amazing. And then, sorry, carrying on, you talked about the farming. Obviously, that's now that if I understand, and I just want to make sure that we are clear on it all. So right now that farming is actually being fed back in at some point into the liquidity, or is
no? So it's purely for phase 2.
Okay.
But currently it is already working as opposed to just having it sit doing nothing.
Gotcha.
So it's already working. It's already producing for existing farmers. So even if you're just a farms holder, you don't like Degens, it's not for you. You're benefiting from Degens because now there was extra cash flow into the farms, which affects your weekly results. So effectively, everyone in farms should tell everyone in Degens thank you, because you're getting a boost to your weekly payouts.
Nice. So to clarify that then, so right now what's happening is that money, that 30% is going into farms. It's benefiting the people only right now. The 100% of the funds are going back to the holders of the old NFTs. And then once phase 2 begins, there'll be a portion of that portion only will then be split still amongst the existing NFT holders, but as well be split a little thinner towards all the people that didn't ROI.
Exactly. Okay. So basically it'll be like a temporary dilution because a whole mass of people here will come into the farm system. So on one hand, people at that moment might see a drop in their results, but it's not really a drop because they were getting all this free boost,
Bonus
right,
money.
for
Yeah.
weeks or months. So effectively, yeah, they're just getting extra results right now for free, whether they participate in Degens or not. And then once the Degens people come in, that it'll be shared amongst more units is the best way to put it.
Yep.
And once they're fully paid out, they will be out of it again, and that money stays behind, still working. So
awesome. No, that's a great win-win-win. And then marketing, obviously, and we talked a little bit about that. Obviously, the 150 that I'm putting in along with my 150 is giving us part of that marketing wallet. And then I guess going up to this guy here, because this is kind of an important little play for the gamification side of it. So how's this all working?
Yeah, so this is one part people get a little confused on pretty much on daily basis. So obviously, obviously there's perks to wanting people to reinvest, right? And that prolongs, the less people claim, well, the longer it runs. So with reinvestments, we wanted to give them a perk and an incentive to do so. So your remaining profit, which is right there on the top, typically that's 150% based on what you've invested. So every deposit, your remaining profit will be 1.5x. But on reinvest, we wanted to give you a higher multiplier. So let's say you were reinvesting 1 BNB and you happen to be doing, let's say 50%. So instead of it adding 1.5 BNB to your remaining profit, it would add 2.5. And this is a way you can increase your profit cap from that default 150% to 300%, which is our maximum. Now, the other thing is remaining profit can absolutely go beyond 300%. It doesn't halt you there, and you will see the number go beyond it, but it affects your claiming ability. And it's more about if you're beyond it, well, you can then deposit more to take advantage of the fact you built it up further, right? So in the event this runs a really long time, phase one, we will have people, I'm sure, getting to that point where maybe they've compounded and they're able to get 500%, but they have to deposit some more money in order to make the ratio fall in line with our limits. And anybody who goes out, though, who is above 300%, when we create your NFT for your specific phase two for your individual amount, it will still be capped at 300%. So it's something where you got to do it while phase one is on if you want to, if you get to that point and want to play that way, knowing that 300 is the limit even on the farming aspect. Oh, I think you've become muted, at least for me.
I did, because I didn't want the typing to be heard. So thank you. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. So, and then also with new money coming into the market, hopefully, and new people coming into this space, hopefully we can help kind of funnel them into this more safer way for them to do the gambling that everybody seems to need to get out of their system when they first come to DeFi, and in a much more wholesome way, and help them learn from their mistakes a little quicker than most of us did in the space. So looking forward to seeing how
the other part we'll mention is right now, obviously today is a bad example, but for people who, let's say, believe in BNB, right, and they want to invest in BNB just as a token, it's another good way where essentially you'll be amplifying what you get if you believe BNB will appreciate and think it will appreciate in the coming months. Hey, well, if you're able to get 150 to 300% on it and it appreciates, depending how quickly, that either cuts your risk earlier or amplifies your profits at the end. So that's another reason we chose to use the native token as opposed to stablecoin, which was our first thought was, oh, we'll do it in USDC. But then no, we realized that people, if they're gambling and playing anyways, they might as well go the full way, right?
Well, and I think timing wise, it makes sense to go that route. If it was 2 months ago or 3 months ago, then I think the stable would have been the better choice. But now that we are, I mean, as much as we had a drop the last 24 hours, that's not going to last forever. It may go down more, but that's where people will hopefully choose to compound a little bit longer and hopefully prolong the life of this so that BNB price can come back up, which would be great. So yeah, awesome. And then obviously going down, I think we've kind of gone through all the top stuff. There is a few other things that I think are definitely warranted, especially this one here. So some boosters, I guess, available to people who are already in the ecosystem. And I think these add up correct up to that max 2%. So if I have this guy, which I do, and I believe I actually have a few of these things, I'll have to go check. I think I have all three, not that one. That's on a different wallet, but I think I have those two anyways. So I'm going to be able to add those bonuses up and they'll affect me. Is that going to show on here?
Yeah, so it shows actually your daily payout. The base is always 2%.
Yeah.
And it shows ecosystem 1%.
Oh, it's already showing there.
So, yeah, so it is already added in. Maybe we should highlight or check mark the ones that you have just to make it clear to people.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that would be cool.
We're still doing little tweaks and such to the front end as more people. A lot of people are giving us suggestions, which is nice. So
yeah, you got a friendly darn group in there, which is amazing. So, so yeah, and then obviously that's the three then that are affecting mine, which is where that 1% comes from. So I'll be getting 3% daily, which is cool.
Yeah, and this is something where we were a little worried about. Hey, if we're attracting a lot of people who are not in our ecosystem already, will they be put off that there's so many benefits to our NFT holders, right? Because it's anyone can go buy a farm, so that's a fair playing level. The partner one, there's a lot of last pits that are constantly for sale. But when you start looking at the Monstro or the Castle, those are harder to come by. We saw a couple go the past couple of days for quite high premiums, which is nice for their holders. I think we're one of the few DeFi projects where we've had only NFTs sold for profit, none for loss.
Nice.
And on secondary by people. But yeah, it's something where we were like, okay, let's make sure they're not too high. But again, we always want to give back to our ecosystem. We knew a lot of the Degens investors are going to come from our community to start with. So we decided to do this way. But in the future, yeah, we might open it up more. We might change, like, depending on the feedback we receive from people.
Yeah.
So far, nobody's complaining. We see a lot of people interested, and once they find out about the farms ecosystem and the passive income, and that you're not just buying an NFT strictly for the boost, you actually get the original purpose of the NFT. We're finding a lot of interest there, so it's definitely something that's working out well.
Amazing.
And the personal boost, well, this is anybody can take advantage of it. Obviously, the more you put in, the more boost you get there, which is both a natural thing in a lot of ways in life, but also, yes, I guess it does favor those who have more money, right? But
yeah,
it's one of those things. It's a fact of life. So we're we're not going to apologize for it. But yes, we understand. Sure, if people have more money, it's more benefit to them.
Well, and even to be honest, it's not too hard to at least get 0.5% of a boost with limited cash flow output.
Yeah, and think of it this way: if there are whales putting in a lot, they're also making the ecosystem healthier. They're contributing more to the marketing wallet, right? They're contributing more to the farming. So it does go both ways. Like they might get a little extra boost to their daily payout, but they're giving more to the ecosystem at the same time.
Exactly, which is for everybody. So yeah, it's whales are a necessary evil. Well, not evil, a necessary thing in any of these ecosystems, and it's good and bad in some ways. But it's regardless, it's not something we can control. So we can control what we have in our circle, and we got to focus on that more. And then lastly, I guess there is a sharing is caring. I was just saying invites, but is that showing the one of?
So the invites means that with this link, you've had 3 people deposit.
But it's looking at this one? Because I don't think I gave out this one, but that's funny.
Yes.
I made open.
I guess you did at some point.
Yeah. I think maybe when I first launched the video, and then I switched it up because I realized it was better to use this one, which is the one for that other wallet. So, but I will look and see if I owe anybody owe that wallet some money. So yeah, and I have it set, and I did actually, you're right, I did remember doing this, and then I switched it while I was on vacation. So this one here basically is where this is going to go. So let's do this now. I was hoping to get, but we're going to be hopefully during this we'll be able to get there. Whoops. I guess I can just do that. Yeah, there we go. and confirm. Just to see that she all works just fine. There we go. Confirm. So I'm putting 1 BNB in and a little bit of gas, and then we'll play around with that. I'm not sure what my strategy is going to be yet, but obviously I'm going to do some reinvesting of some sorts. I don't know. To start off, I might go heavier and then kind of loosen up as time goes on. I think might be kind of one of the best plans, but everybody obviously can do what they'd like. No financial advice coming from me, but Gabo feels the need to get himself arrested or sued. He'd like to give financial advice compounding to the moon 300 ROI. No risk of losing. So everybody take that as you will.
I don't think Gabo will ever hit claim. I think he'll just click reinvest 100 until phase 1 ends.
He is the ultimate fanboy, but a good thing in a good way. So yeah, and he is definitely a good cheerleader to have in your corner and done well telling everybody about everything going on here. So I appreciate you, Gabo. I did want to go up. So deposit has been made and I'm already accumulating. So you can see the DApp is working, everyone. FOMO now. And then whenever I want, I'd hit claim. I'm assuming I can just click on these and that'll automatically create the transaction as opposed to just hitting the 100% claim. Is that correct?
Yeah. So to clarify for people, the reinvest handles everything for you. So if you're doing, let's say 50%, it will auto claim you the other 50%. Perfect. You should not claim manually first and then click reinvest because there'll be nothing to reinvest at that point.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So that's good. I'm glad we went through that. So, and then that's basically it. So now we are at 6.99, and that's moving. So there we go. And then how much I've invested, how much my remaining profit. So this is my max 150% that I can earn. And then if I reinvest or if I add more, that will increase this basically, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Awesome. So very clear, which I love. So well done as always.
So I'll comment on the cashback just so people are clear because it doesn't really have an explanation below it. But in the referral part, the cashback is if you want to automate sharing rewards that you get with whoever the depositor is, right? Whoever uses your link. Yeah. And this was something not all the other ROI dApps had, but quite a few of them had where it was more manual. And we would see people like in Telegram telling their teams, hey team, if you do it, you sign up this week, I'm going to give you guys like 1.1 BNB each, or I'm going to give you 10% of what I made. And then they go and send it out manually and look through all the transactions. And we're like, but why? It's such an easy feature to build in automatically.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with
very smooth and easy. So, just for anyone looking at it, to not be confused, what you set is the amount you're giving to the person. So the default is 0, meaning you keep it all. Yeah. Anything you set. So if you set, 10%, you're giving them 10%. If you set 99%, you're giving them 99%. And
yeah, exactly.
Because we did have a few people who set it initially, and you can change it, and it'll take effect going forward. But some people set it to 100 initially, thinking the 100 comes to them. But that's not the case. The default of 0 means you get technically everything, 100%. So that number is what you're giving back, hence the cashback name.
Gotcha. Sorry, I wanted to actually check, and unfortunately, I don't have that wallet on this one. I have it on my laptop, but so it looks like I got 3 invites on the other one too. I don't know if everybody can see that. So there's 3 invites, but there's more money invested on that side. So that's on for my own little full transparency. I'll try and post that later, but on my channel, because there's 4 now. So 4 invites. So thank you. Somebody invested while we were talking. So 3.87 BNB has been put in on the other side, the other wallet that I was using that I just put in. Of course, somebody else just invested. I did. So yeah, so that one's got more money going into it, which is good. That's what I want. And this one's now been taken off of everywhere. So don't use this one. Awesome. So that's great. I think is there anything else from Degens? Because I do want to have a little bit of overarching view of the other stuff. Yeah. But is that all?
The last thing I'll say for Degens is, yes, just, be on the lookout for some partnerships there, especially with the partner NFT. It's dynamic. So we're looking for good communities who want some extra utility. Perhaps they have a token, and if their users stake that token or burn that token, they'll receive one of these partner NFT boosters. And that's what it's built for. And it's built dynamically so we can work with anyone without affecting the actual main contract. It's
Nice.
something that we built in a way, thinking ahead, these are things we want to do. And if the opportunities arise, we'll be able to do them without needing to touch anything to do with the Degens contracts. So
Nice.
that's something that, just be on the lookout for. And if you're part of those communities or want to become part of them, then you'll be able to maybe get a little extra boost. Because the partner one is not just the Lazarus Pit one that's shown in the little image. It actually just means any partner NFT we release.
Gotcha. Okay, and then get that quarter boost. Okay, awesome. That's neat. And no alpha yet on any communities that are going to be. I can probably guess one right off the top of my head, but
you can probably guess one. We've dropped some hints here and there. So I will leave it at that because the team says I always talk too much. So
yeah, there you go. And Alpha Cruz showing some shade my way. I should have done 10 BNB. If I had 10 BNB, I would have, because I do believe in at least various and everything you guys do. Obviously, this protocol could do anything because it's out of your guys' control, really. So yeah, but yeah, I'd like to.
All we can do with it now is just spend that marketing wallet, and really, that's the only thing we're in control of at this point.
Yeah. No, and that's good, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what other people can do, hopefully, and bring some other people to the table that can kind of reach a further audience than I can. There has been quite a few people in here today, and I'm sure a lot of that's from your community, so I appreciate you bringing them to the channel. So hopefully, a little like and subscribe down there if you could. But yeah, I love it, and I the only reason why I didn't get in earlier is I was away for the last week and stuff. Otherwise, I would have done it earlier, but it worked out quite well that we could do this AMA to get some more people hopefully apprised of what's going on, which is awesome. So as you can see, lots of opportunity here to have some fun, to scratch that degen itch, but do it in a hopefully a more responsible, wholesome, transparent way, which is what we need more of in this space as a whole. And somebody did ask quickly, and I think they, as I'm seeing some of their comments, I think they already know the answers, but so new here, what are the perks to buying the farms NFT cycle seat? Now, is anything still up for sale for the farms for new people coming into the ecosystem?
Yeah, so our current generation, which is the seat right now, that one's always for sale. You can go to the NFT sale page.
Okay.
And so you'll see it defaults to 3. Some people asked why. We're like, it's just a psychological thing. It seems like if you put 3, people might buy 3 instead of buying 1, but they obviously can buy 1 if they want 1.
Yeah.
So yes, so Cycle Cs, the perks are, this is part of our farms product or series or service.
Mm-hmm.
And they do, they're $105. $5 is a tax that goes to the Cycle B holders. And then the $100 is the value you have in our farming ecosystem. So every $100 represents 1 unit, and that's your share you get out of whatever yield is produced on a weekly basis. So I can tell you for the past week, for example, we produced about $22,000 a yield.
Nice.
So I think, a farm C probably got something like $4 something. So, if you get $4 something, your ROI would take about 25 weeks. And then after that, you're on the house for life, right? You're just making free money.
Yeah, nice.
So that's what the Cycle C does, just like all the ones before it. There's just varying amounts. They're ROI'd at different levels and such. But yeah, the Cycle C is the current generation. Once it gets to about 25% ROI'd, we will retire it, introduce Cycle D, just so it starts a fresh ROI cycle at 0. And the Cycle Cs will then earn that sales tax on all the Cycle Ds sold.
Cool.
And it goes on like that. So, actually the Cycle Bs, because of that $5 tax, we sold about 54 farms this week, Cycle Cs. So they actually made, I think it's like 0.02% more than the Genesis holders did this week.
Nice.
Which is kind of funny and ironic, but yeah, they, the tax has been working out well. People thought it would be something like, oh, the first week or 2 we'll sell a lot of Cs and then it'll fade away. But no, it's been consistently giving them a little extra every week. So
nice. That's awesome. And Crypto Andy, welcome. And yes, we did mention that earlier, and that's a great call out again, as the farms have had a pretty darn good payout today, which is great.
Hey, Andy.
And if you haven't, go like and subscribe to Andy. He's another great guy in the space who definitely keeps it real, and I appreciate you and all you do. So yeah, Crypto Andy. Hey, Kevin, you never surprise me with the comments. Looking forward to getting me a D. Yeah, I think, and I should check what I have just because I think I have a couple of different ones, but
Yeah.
dash
Well,
B.
we do know your project, or I believe it's your project, has the vault, right?
Yeah, we do have a vault one through a project. That's actually the wallet that is using the
Yeah.
referral codes
So
for me.
they probably got a nice payout today.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go check. I haven't checked that out today. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so I do have a B that, or two of the Bs, and then one castle and one farms. So that I got in early. And again, this is like hard to complain with this. So I did have that one, I think, since day one.
We actually have to update that page. We updated after payday, but I haven't done it today yet. So it's actually now at 90% ROI.
Nice. That's gonna be
Only
nice.
10% to go, and this means everyone who owns our whole Genesis series and the Farms A's are basically on the host for life.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Oh yeah, and then I have a C. There we go. So yeah. And yeah, exactly. So the other product, yeah. So the wallet that I am using that actually has the referrals going to it now. That one there is yeah, a project that we're trying to slowly gain back some dollars that were stolen. So like I said, the referral code that I have, if you choose to use it, it will give 50% of the referral dollars back to you, and then 50% will go to that wallet that project is running. So so yeah, which is amazing. So I'll keep posting that inside that project as well as maybe on my videos as I go. But like I said, it's on my laptop. So so yeah. Anything else? So we've gone through a lot. I like to keep these under half an hour, but I knew this one was going to run longer, and happy to have it run longer because I think there was lots of different things I wanted to get into and want to give you guys the most platform I can, because I know you, because you're on camera, because I trust you guys and appreciate what you guys are doing. Was there anything else we wanted to make sure we touch base on while we're here? And any questions you guys have, obviously, please post them.
Yeah,
if I missed
it's always
any,
great. I love to hear questions, especially from new faces or new people.
Yeah.
So if anyone has any questions, love to take a sec to answer any of those.
And I don't think I missed anything, but if I did, just repost it quickly, guys. But I think I've been pretty up after my first.
I don't think I see any missed questions. Just a few
random
comments, compliments, etc.
I was posting some of those as we went. So yeah.
Yeah, so all we want to say, I guess, then is, first of all, thank you to everyone who's part of whatever part of our ecosystem you're in.
Yeah.
As this keeps growing, as you mentioned, like, our roadmap is there to be built. It's not just to look at. So we are producing them. We want to take a slow and steady path, and make sure each of them comes out properly and doesn't, nothing is rushed for any reason. Especially our token. That's the one I think people are starting to get most anxious for. And that's, to us, that's by far the biggest element, right? That's something that could set us apart from being just a DeFi project into an actual massive, branding company.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the one we're going to definitely take our time with. And, there's no reason to rush it. We only get one shot at it to do it properly. So yeah, it's probably something, it's at the mercy of the market a bit, but it's also, we want to just build up our community strong enough to ensure it's going to be successful.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would say that's the one that if people say, what's on your roadmap that might get, moved or delayed, well, I think that's the number one. Yeah. Everything else that's in there is, we're pretty sure we're going to do it in a pretty quick time frame. Like Moonbags is something we'll probably build this month, next on the list after, maybe the website revamp in parallel. And then that'll be something maybe we launch as soon as, last week of January, first week of February, something like that. Some of them, obviously, partner ones are out of our hands. That's on third parties. But yeah, I just want to say, we called it a universe, and a lot of people were like, oh, why didn't you just call it Monstro's Farms, like when we launched? And we're like, no, because it's only one part. Bigger. Yeah, and people are like, no, you're just going to do farming, and that's your project. And we're like, no, we're really going to build stuff. Like, it's going to have a lot of facets. So,
well, and you guys had some things that you had previously planned, which I think I'm sure you still have some desire, and some of that I can see in the roadmap too. Is there's stuff you guys already had thought of that you're kind of trying to bring to fruition. So, so that's great.
Yeah, and there's other brands like in the Master Brews acquisition. We have a lot of brands there. And our two flagships, right, Whelps and Heroes and Villains, and then plenty of other stuff we either have on the shelf or half done or never really got to when the market crashed. So all of that, we want to revamp it under the Monstro brand and label. Again, one by one and as we can.
Yeah.
But there's some serious potential there. Like for those who have, no idea what any of this stuff is, Whelps was a sellout collection. We put over $500,000 from that into building a real video game with the studio. This video game's targeting PC and Nintendo Switch. It's not just your web-based like DeFi games. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on with those collections, and they just need fresh funding and fresh life to get them going again. And that's something through building with Monstro that we're aiming to do at some point. So
amazing. Sorry, Wise just asked, and I think we hinted on it but didn't quite get into it. Any way to buy the previous NFTs? So Discord, White Ogre answered a couple of things, but if you maybe want to talk to that on how to get into the previous ones if people want to.
Yeah, so the farms, the Cycle C is available publicly. Anybody can go buy it at any moment. The Lazarus Pits, there's usually at least always a handful for sale on Elements. So if you go to our official links, whether it's in our Discord or Telegram or our wiki, from there you can go to Elements and browse those. Now, these are being sold by other holders, right? So we have no control or influence over the price. It's purely
where do I get to that? Just so people see it.
If you go to Wiki, you should find it quick. There's an official links page.
Sorry, I did go there, but it opened me a new window.
Oh, okay.
And
just go to Core, I think it's under. And yeah.
So for people who want to do that, you've got all your websites here, and then specifically NFT Marketplace and Lazarus.
Exactly. Now, if you want one of the castles, that's probably, castles and Monstro are going to be very hard to pry out of people's hands. Mm-hmm. I know that one of each got sold yesterday to someone. So, they they definitely paid a premium, but I guess they believe in what we're doing. And I'm sure one of the sellers was shocked his sold because I don't think he actually thought his listing price would ever get met. He kind of put it as a joke, but it did get met. So, and now he's looking to buy one to get back in. So
nice.
But yes, so all those are available on the marketplace. And then the vaults and kingdoms, if you are someone with that type of budget, or you're a project yourselves who have a treasury, those are on demand through the team. We'd like to discuss them one-on-one with people so they fully understand all the ecosystem perks they're getting with it. Especially with, the vault is $10,000 and up you can put on it. And the kingdom, which so far we have one person who holds a kingdom, those are $100,000 and up. And they definitely have different terms and special perks that the normal NFTs don't at those price points. So if you're ever interested in that, contact us, whether by ticket, DM, etc. We like to really go through it with you, make sure you understand it before you invest that type of sum of money.
Yeah, sorry for the white guys. I forgot to click that because it's so bright. Okay, perfect. So I kind of gets the gamut of the whole thing. And Crypto Andy always with insightful questions. As least biased as possible, how do you feel Degens has gone so far? Better than expected, not as good as expected. So where's your thoughts on that?
I think better than expected. I think the whole team thinks that because of the timing where we were launching, the fact that we so far have not been targeting like the Degen type audience. Yep. So we really were like, okay, if we can do 50,000 on day one, that would be excellent. I think day one we did 90,000 deposits. So we almost 2x'd our optimistic hope, I guess you could say. Yeah. And since then, we're just seeing a steady amount come per day. It is getting a little bit difficult sometimes to find marketing or get replies right now, which is, something that I know, Adam and Gabo, they have to worry about that. I try to help where I can, but they're constantly on that. So it is a little bit, we worry is there going to be a slowdown if we can't keep the marketing momentum like every single day going.
Yeah.
But with follow-ups, with doing AMA rounds, with, today we had our first person we absolutely don't know write a Medium article explaining everything and pushing the referral link, which is awesome. We want more of that, right? The more organic stuff we start seeing coming out, that means we're making traction, we're getting there, and we're very happy with that. So I think all things considered, we're doing better than we had originally guessed or thought we would take in. And now, we're pretty close, we think, to getting to that 1,000 mark, especially, we have one or two people who mentioned they might come in for some large sums. So I think once we get to that 1,000 marker, now we're going to be on some larger people's radar, and it's just going to keep snowballing. So, woohoo! We got the 700.
Nice.
We like round numbers, but yeah, it's been growing about roughly 50, 60 BNB per day, pretty steadily now these past couple of days, and we haven't had that much new marketing the past 3 days. So it's good to see that it's not stopping. It's actually still going at a steady pace.
Yeah.
And yeah, the marketing wallet's still very healthy. So the intent is there to spend it. It's just a matter of not wasting it and finding quality sources and new sources we haven't necessarily, we don't want to keep squeezing blood from a stone from like
exactly.
Yeah. So we want to find places we can outreach to brand new people, fresh people. I think we're going to start experimenting with some Twitter ads and with some different approaches as well. So
that's not a bad idea. Yeah. And then I might, there's a couple of people that I think might be worth at least trying. If they charge too much, then I'd say kick them to the curb, but I'll reach out to Gabo and give them a couple of names that might be worth kind of just branching off to a side where they may not have been touched yet by videos that me or Andy or the other guys that you guys have done. So, yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. So I don't see any other questions. I know a couple of people got the answers that they wanted and a few other comments in there. So I appreciate all you guys. If there's nothing else, I guess we'll wrap it up there because we are on that kind of magic hour mark. But I do appreciate all you guys. I think we got up to like 40 people in here all at once, which is awesome. Nice. And I appreciate all of you for coming by and supporting Monstros and OxVarius and everything they're doing. I would love to see some continued support for that because I think they earn it. And which is nice, again, to see in the space. I can't say that enough. So I will do follow-ups on how my little play is doing with this one. And thank you, Smiley Girl, as well. But I'm always happy to have people like you guys on here for an AMA and appreciate all of you coming, because if it wasn't for you guys coming to watch, then we wouldn't have much to do here.
Special shout out, since Smiley Girl just popped up. As we announced this morning, she's a new addition to the Monstro team.
Oh, nice.
So she will have a role in a couple of different areas, and you can find out more by reading the announcement. Or let her tell you. But yes, we're working on her PFP right now to make a nice, pink furry monster. Nice.
Well, welcome to the family then, Smiley Girl. You got a good little addition to the team then, because she's a go-getter and really I love seeing her everywhere. She's always got happy, fun things and nice things to say, which is appreciated, and she's good at getting people engaged. So yeah, awesome. Congrats to that.
Awesome. So then I want to thank you, of course, as always. You're one of our earliest supporters and one of our most how would I say, eager, reliable. Always great to do anything with you.
No, appreciate it.
Thanks to everyone who came in and watched and asked questions, and a lot of them are at this point names we recognize, so
of course. Yeah, thank you, David. Yeah, no, and we'll keep going. And like I said, I think I've got some people that might be worth trying. We'll have to see how that works out. But I'd like to see, I definitely want to see that 1,000 BNB. I mean, in this market before the bull has started, that's going to be a pretty nice little cap to put on. Because, I mean, who else have we seen that kind of thing with other than like, I guess baked beans, I guess, as a poor example of something that got pretty big.
Yeah, someone just told us in our community, they dropped that we've surpassed the very famous, the 3-year-old or 4-year-old BNB miner.
Yes.
Surpassed what's in their contract. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like I never really would have thought of that. If you picture something running for years, you'd probably be like, oh, they probably have had, especially in the last bull run, they must have had tons of money through them. Mm-hmm. But I'm not sure if they meant maybe we just surpassed their liquidity, what's left in them or something. But
maybe, yeah. Because I'm pretty sure they would have gotten, because they were through some bull runs, through some of the bull runs. So,
but that's always cool. And we're fully intending to prove our longevity, just as we have with, what we've done with the farms. 6 months, that's a nice marker. We'll celebrate that next week, and on to 12 months from there. So
there you go. Yeah, Alpha just said, I guess they're down to 400 now, and they were at 2 million. Yeah, so that's a little different story, but still, I mean, again, in the bear right now, still really, and the fact, as long as we can kind of make this sustain for the next 2 months or so, I think it's could be quite the little opportunity for a lot of people. So, who have put up with a whole lot of crap over this market over the last little while.
I mean, the best thing I can say is, if you're into this thing, right? If you're going to play it, why would you play another one that doesn't have a fallback? Yeah. There's absolutely zero benefit to do so, right? We're offering the same form of aggressive payouts, same aggressive referral rewards, etc.
Yeah.
And, okay, I guess I could say we won't rug it, but then I don't have to say that because our contract can't allow us to rug it. Yeah. So with this one, if you play these things, if you're comparing A, B, and C, to me, of course I'm biased, but being unbiased and objective, there would be no reason not to choose Degens over those others.
Yeah.
Based on what we have, that is the difference maker.
No, and I agreed 100%. And just the way it's set up not to benefit. You guys still get benefit, which I think is right and true and should be. But
we never talked about that. Maybe we should just mention.
Oh, true.
Yeah, how we actually benefit, because people might wonder. So there is a claim tax. There's a 5% claim tax. It's in our wiki. It's in some other places. And that is the only way the team makes money on this. So essentially, from the 5% claim tax, we get 4% to our wallet. And then 1% goes back to our Genesis NFT holders, once again, giving them a little something extra. So
nice. That's awesome. That might be good to have right here, or right on the claim button here. But
yeah, maybe we should add it there.
Because it just, again, just because you guys are so transparent, and I appreciate that about you guys. Just that's a little addition I think that might be worthwhile. Just to kind of keep that up there. But again, deserved. You guys should be getting paid, and I think there is some on the actual NFT side that you guys get. But you're not scraping the maximum amount you can to screw that's the nice thing, and you're. Tokenomics are set up to spread that wealth around, and especially to the people that have helped you get to where you are, which again, we don't see often. Most projects or teams are here for a short time and don't have any care about what happens long term, whereas you guys have shown that time and time again. So appreciate you guys and everything you're doing, and yeah, keep it up. And if anybody has any other questions, please obviously come by the Discord. The link's in the description below for the Discord, as well as the link to Monstro's Degens if you choose. As I said, that is a referral link, keeping full transparent, but the funds are 50% of the referral dollars go back to you, and 50% goes into a wallet that's being used by a treasury wallet for a project I'm trying to recoup some money back for people. So all good causes, and yeah, have yourselves a fantastic day. And any final words?
No, a happy Monstro payday. Wednesday is I think Wednesday is the community's favorite day if we had to take a vote.
Absolutely.
Yes. And thanks again, everyone. And we'll look forward. We have another AMA lined up tomorrow. And then, if you're seeing this later and you have some questions, you can ask us anytime, or you can ask there. So
who's the AMA? Is it just in your Discord, or is there?
No, tomorrow's with James Pelton. So.
Oh, awesome. Good. How I didn't know that when I managed his community, I don't know. But glad I got in there before him. But
his are always, he's a very energetic guy. So we'll see if, he likes to take trips. So we'll try to fly him to Monstro Island, which doesn't yet exist. But
there you go. I also like trips, just haven't gotten big enough to earn them yet.
Well, good job. Wise Choice Money. You're welcome to the Monstro family.
So make sure you get into the Discord if you haven't already, Wise Choice Money. And yeah, I will close it out at that. So thank you so much, guys, for joining us, and a great bunch of people, and have yourselves a fantastic rest of your week.